tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out. Bright future we can't vanish. It's E25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions. Thank us, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Yo, welcome back to Eagle Eyed Football. I hope that it is working this time. Yes, It is. All right. Technical problems. I don't know what happened. Nate went live. Nothing really worked.
Yeah.
So I'm here now. Dinner's probably going to be burnt, but I'm here.
No. Go have your dinner, JC. It's okay. You can go have your dinner. I wouldn't have you missing your dinner.
I'm joking. I ain't got no dinner going.
Oh, okay.
We had a late lunch. We'll say that. So
okay.
Ain't for a long time. If I can find Harry's thing, I will try and send him a message on Twitter. But if not, then we'll just see where it goes from there. But hopefully everyone had a good Christmas. Nate, how was your Christmas, mate?
Christmas was fine, but Boxing Day wasn't because work was eventful. But I won't go into detail. We're here to talk about Tottenham and Palace.
Lovely stuff. Oh gosh. Okay, so Rich put a password on the DMs on Twitter, so I cannot send my guy a DM on Twitter.
I'll send him off my account if I can find him.
So I will. Yeah, if you just send him the thing in the chat, then we'll go from there. But guys,
oh gosh, have to be verified. I think this is.
Oh mate, I know that he was in the other. He's in the other studio. Let me just send it to Rich. Oh. All the way from Brazil. How are you, mate?
It is, guys. It is hot. It is far, far too hot for any living person to be in. My Christmas day was 33 degrees.
Lovely stuff.
But I'm good. How are you?
Looking forward to the game tomorrow. Had a lot of food. I wanted to weigh myself before and after Christmas, but I was too busy eating for even to think about weighing myself. I know it's just got to be at least a kg or two that I've put on because it was a crazy business. And
the question is, and I'm going to pre-pause myself before I say this. What meat did you have?
And I'm going to pre-pause myself as well. All of it. I had all of it. I had turkey. I had fried chicken. I had lamb. I had gammon. I can't remember. Rihanna, what else did I have? Everything. Shut up. She said another kind of meat, but it's not edible. And that's very, very crude of you, Rihanna. You cannot say that on stream.
Whoa.
I didn't hear that.
What did you have for Dan? For dinner for Christmas?
What did I have for Dan? We had a turkey, that classic turkey. My favorite is lamb.
Nice.
If I'm at home and I'm cooking it myself. Lamb all day, every day. Mm-hmm. But it was good. Turkey was good.
Mm-hmm. I will.
It was a bit of a different one, but yeah.
Yeah, I got waved on Rihanna's rum cake, which was drenched in Ray, so which is probably why I got waved off of cake, which is very, very, very nice. I have not prepared anything for this stream. I'm not going to lie. I know that Nate has. So Nate, do you want to try and take over here? I'm just waffling.
Yeah, no problem at all. So looking at the head-to-head, obviously last season we beat them home and away. I think the first time in the Premier League era. I think, would that be right, Dan?
Yeah, because I think we always have a terrible we've had a terrible record against them for probably up until. I mean, I want to say in terms of Premier League games, I feel like that one where Eddie scored 2 goals was probably the first time we've beaten them in the league since when we got promoted. So yeah, we and especially Spurs away, we never ever do well there. Obviously, apart from when Martin Kelly scores.
Or Ebbs
Well,
twice.
yeah, Ebbs as
Or
well.
Ebbs.
Well, before when Edouard scored on his debut, the last win against Tottenham in this league fixture was under Pardew on the 10th of January 2015. That's how far back that was. But obviously, a lot has changed since then. Obviously, Eze's gone to their neighbours Arsenal. Tottenham have got a new manager in Thomas Frank. And at the moment, there's a fair bit of mixed feelings in Tottenham's fan base. They want Thomas Frank to work out, but they're not necessarily sure if he's the right fit. Would you both think it's a good time to play them, seeing as their season's been a bit up and down? I mean, to be fair, so was ours. But, obviously prior to the 2 wins last season, we last won against them in 2021, obviously when Edouard scored twice on his debut. But between then and now, it was like, what was it? Yeah, 5 straight losses in a row. And I remember JC was saying he'd never seen Palace score a goal in that stadium.
And then I saw 2.
And then he saw 2. Yeah, that's right.
To be fair, from what I can see, just looking at their fixtures that they've had recently, whenever they've had a down, normally they've recovered after the next few games. So, like, for example, going far as back as October, they beat Leeds, and then they got beat by Villa, but then they beat Everton, but then they lost to Newcastle, but then they beat Copenhagen 4-0, and then they lost to Arsenal 4-1, but then they had a really good performance against PSG 5-3. I know they lost, but it was still a very good performance. So it's very up and down, which is a good and a bad thing. And the reason why I say it might be a bad thing is because the last time they've actually won a football match was the 6th of December against Slava Prague.
Yeah.
So it's been a good while since they've actually won. They've played 3 games since then. They played Brentford, Forest, and Liverpool, and they've lost all 3. So playing against us, I don't know whether it's a good or a bad thing, but we're also coming into this in a bit of stinky form as well.
Yeah.
So it could go either way, but it is at home. We've got an awful home record. And especially after European games, we've been awful. And I know we haven't played a European game before this game. We've had in our season so far, it's been a long rest.
Yeah.
And a long rest is 5 days this season, which is quite funny. But I wouldn't say I'm too confident because we are rubbish at home this year.
Yeah,
And
plus we've got the Fulham game not too long after this as well. So
yeah, and also the fact Sar's gone to AFCON. He's playing really well at AFCON, but Sar's gone. And I know that Glasner said that there's no issue with Mateta, but just seeing him move, it doesn't look right to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are in agreement with that. Mateta just don't look like himself. I know he's not been scoring very well lately, but just his movement, now that we know he's got some sort of injury, just hasn't been great. Chris Richards will be missing for this game as well.
Yeah.
So JD Campo will be playing. So it's just, a lot of things going against us in this game. So I wouldn't say I'm too confident for this one. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, definitely not.
No, me neither. And just another thing I was thinking of adding as well is just that I think obviously Thomas Frank at Brentford, I don't think we beat him. So I feel like he's got a good record against us. And I'm not saying he's got Glasner figured out, but Glasner never seems to have done well against Thomas Frank. Whether that's because they played a similar style, perhaps, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, we were quite unfortunate in at least 2 of those games. Wait, was it 2 of those games? I don't know, but definitely that one where we had Eze's free kick ruled out. That was unfortunate. I feel like there was another one as well that was unfortunate, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, you know what the funny thing is, right? When the guest comes on, I guarantee you, he's going to be like, or she is going to. I don't know who it is. Yeah, they are going to be like, oh, we're going to lose as well. Like it's one of those games where both teams are just kind of playing a bit rubbish. Spurs fans, I know personally, aren't happy at the moment. Obviously, we've had a lot of games recently, got key players missing, so we're not playing very well. It's one of those games where it's like it's the movable force versus the stoppable object. So the movable. Oh, I said it the wrong way around, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, we understand that, but I think Dan, I remember. I don't know why this comes into my mind. I remember, I think it was last season or the season before. Me and you were doing a preview with, I think it was an American or like a Canadian Spurs fan, and they were talking to us about how Patrick Vieira was going to batter them, and then they beat us 4-0. I seem to remember that very distinctly. We were on stream. They were saying, we're going to smash them, blah, blah, blah. Kane gets 2 goals in 20 minutes, and then they score 2 more. And you're thinking, what on earth is going on? You thought we were gonna bash them, and they bashed us.
They what? Well, I mean, to be fair, one good thing from that, I suppose, is Harry Kane doesn't play for Spurs anymore, so therefore he cannot score against us anymore.
Yeah, he's getting assisted by our mate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right. What next?
Is our Spurs fan even here, or
no? We're still trying to send him a link.
Okay.
So he should be jumping in hopefully any moment.
All right, guys. I've got some questions for you then.
Boo.
Right. So obviously Nate said that we're playing. What is it? Fulham. No, you know what? It's so hot. I've literally been dumping water on me like constantly.
Dan's
yeah, but anyway. Yeah, I'm going for the Grealish.
Ooh, forehead.
5 head. Well, if we're playing, what is it? Fulham on New Year's Day. So that's what, like a 3-4 day gap in between, 3-day gap in between, or whatever it is. Would you? And then obviously, then we got Newcastle on the 4th. And then Macclesfield, obviously, he'll probably play a slightly weaker team.
We've got Villa on that Wednesday as well.
Oh yeah, of course we do. Yeah, I knew I was missing one. So yeah, so we got. Well, yeah, because then wait, is Villa the? Oh yeah, because Villa's when I come back, isn't it? Oh yeah, so we got Newcastle, Villa, and then Macclesfield. All right. So would you? Obviously, I know we got players missing, but like, would you play anyone? Do you know what I mean? Would you play a slightly weakened side, or rotate anyone, or?
I think the real question is, we would like to rotate the team, but Glasner will play the same 11 in every bloody game
because he's got no choice.
And it's quite funny because I remember we were all saying the exact same thing. Why is Roy Hodgson playing the same team week in, week out, even when we didn't have no European football, when we had our Christmas fixtures? And, you know, we're at that point again where we've got a good first team and our squad just isn't good enough to rotate enough. Like, we could rotate 1 or 2. You could rotate in the Canvos. You could maybe rotate in the Hughes or the Lerma for Wharton. But, you know, it would have been a lot nicer if Kamada was still fit, because him being injured is probably one of the main issues. Because I think, really true, I think you could get away with missing Sarr. I think you could get away with that because you've got Uche, you've got Nketiah. But I think Kamada's the one, really, that's really killed us and killed our momentum in the league and in Europe,
Yeah.
really. Because just that bit of composure, quality in the middle is what we need. And to be fair, I think they said it's like a 8 to 10 week injury, so he's probably going to be back late February, early March.
Yeah.
You know, if everything goes correctly. So I don't know about you guys, but we need to loan or buy a good central midfielder that could potentially take that Kamada spot. Because you know, with all this noise about Glasner, actually no, wait 1 sec. Fabrizio Romano, you are a pagan. Why are you tweeting about Glasner on Christmas Day? You could have tweeted anything, but you tweet
100%.
that. Out of all things, you tweet that on
And-
Christmas Day.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I actually put on one of my I put a tweet out saying
That's why I blocked him.
because I saw loads of
proper waste, man.
I saw loads of people like saying, talking about Glass, and I was thinking, oh no, what's happened? And then I saw that the source was Fabrizio Romano, so I settled down. I was okay, and I basically put that in a tweet. And then I got one bookmark. I know who that bookmark is. Fabs, I'm watching you.
Fraudinia Romano.
I'm watching you, Fabrizio. But yeah, the
rent free.
literally. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. To be honest, for me personally, I'll believe it if it's either the club or I don't know, Glasner announces it in some other way, but I don't know how he would do that. Or Bobby. They are literally the only two sources, or maybe like a Dom Fifield or something like that, maybe, or an Orn Bomb or something like that, maybe something like that. But there's only really a couple of sources I would fully trust.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think going back to it, we're gonna need some midfielder. We're gonna need at least one like starting quality midfielder in January to even survive the rest of this season, really, because we've got an opportunity here where we're still in the Conference League. FA Cup hasn't started yet. We've gotten quite far in the Carabao Cup, even though we've only played, I think, 1 or 2 games in that competition to get to the quarters. But we're still like we've got the opportunity to still do well in the league because we are. I think we're 8th still, aren't we? We are 9th.
Yeah, we are. Even
we're
after
9th.
Everyone's played, we're still 8th.
No,
we're 9th, are we? Who?
Goal difference on Brentford have scored more goals than us. That's why. Same goal difference, same points. They've scored more goals.
Okay, all right.
No, that's a lie. They've got one more win than us. They've got one more win than us.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why they're above us.
Yeah.
But on your point, JC, I would say, and you were one of the people saying this the most, the squad depth needed to be addressed early. It wasn't. We were all, dealing with the whole CAS thing and everything else, but you were still saying whatever's going on at CAS, the club should be working diligently to address clear squad depth issues, and they panic bought. Benitez wasn't a bad option. Borna Sosa, well, a lot of people have made their minds up on him. Canvo's young and promising, but again, probably not what we needed firsthand. An awful lot of mistakes were made in the summer, and it's a repeat of the summer before. And
the thing is
honestly,
about the summer as well.
If Glasner does go, JC, I don't think anyone could really blame him. I mean, granted, he doesn't stay at many clubs long, but a lot of the people that are defending Parish to the hilt, fair enough. They want to be in that camp. That's perfectly fine. But there are those that are like, look, we're not hating what Parish has done, but there's things he's done lately that we're not impressed with. I don't think anyone could really hate Parish for all the things he's done because there's been a lot more good than bad. But the last couple of windows in the summer, they haven't been good. A lot of issues were still left lingering. I mean, we've only just got another left back in. How many years after Van Aanholt left? 3 or 4?
And he's crap.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah.
And it's not solely on Borna Sosa, to be clear. I'm not trying to single him out, but you understand what I'm saying. The ability to go and address key areas of the squad came and went, and we're all sat there thinking, so we're just going to hope that the players don't get injured across the whole season where we're playing in Europe for the first time. This should be fun. It isn't, by the way, because when key players go missing, you can see the lack of quality that's there to replace them, and it's worrying.
Yeah.
I think the point that we're trying to get to at the end of the day is the fact that we're still in a good spot in all competitions we're still playing in. So if we invest, there's still an opportunity to do well in all of those competitions.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I think a lot of people are in that mindset of we understand that we don't have the biggest budget, but we should be looking to make the most of whatever budget we have, not just try and bring in a couple of players on the cheap and hope to God that appeases everybody. You know, no one's saying make big money signings we can't afford. We don't want to see a repeat of what's happened in the past. Just ideally identify targets that can improve the squad when we've got Kamada and Decore and Sar out and all that other stuff. Like, you want to have options where you're like, okay, we're missing a key player, but we've got a player that's in that kind of mold. Granted, they're hard to find, but you know what I'm saying. You want to have options where you can say, if we lose a player, we've got a player there to replace them, even though they're not as good as Ismail Assar, as good as Kamada, as good as check Decore. I mean, obviously Decore coming back, we don't know what he's going to be like after that ACL injury, but yeah, January shouldn't be as big as it is, but it's going to be massive for us. But bringing it back on topic, this game could go either way for me because they're not great, we're not great. It's probably going to be an absolute stinkfest, to be honest. But you know, it'd be typical Palace to throw an absolute stinkfest and somehow scam a win or give them a win. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way.
100%.
Yeah. I agree. Should we do like a combined 11 or something?
Yeah, well, I don't know whether that guy's coming or not, really, because I think Rich said he's got some issues when trying to click the link. Let's line up.
Come on, get the lineup out. Go on, get it out.
Oh yeah,
and we'll try our best to squeeze 3 Spurs players in there.
Yeah, because as you guys can clearly see, we do not know what a top Spur is. When we're going with formation, I'm just going to go with our formation because I've got no idea what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah, go Roz.
We're trying to be unbiased here. So by being unbiased, I'm going to actually pull up the Spurs squad because I have no idea who plays for them.
Are we doing players who are injured as well, or?
Yeah, why not? Because to be fair, I've got no idea who's fit and who is injured.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mate, their website does not show the actual players. Supporters club, attractions.
FB ref. That's my source.
Yeah, my sources normally trust me, fam, but you know. Spurs squad. Here we go. Okay. Goalkeeper. Henderson's better than Vicario. Vicario has been stinky this year. All right, 3 centre backs. So their centre backs are Dragusin, Danso, I guess Archie Gray, Romero.
They have Van de Ven, they have Romero.
Yeah. I guess Archie Gray's played centre back sometimes.
Yeah.
And Ben Davis has played centre back sometimes.
Yeah, I'd say the most common ones are probably Van de Ven and Romero.
I think Van de Ven, Romero, and Gay is probably the centre backs, aren't they?
So Romero is suspended at the moment. He's back on New Year's Day, just for reference. I mean, you can put him in there if you want, but just to let you know,
this is if it doesn't matter.
It's everything anyway.
Actually,
100%. Just letting you know. That's all.
I'm going Liquari with Van de Ven. Van de Ven's always bloody injured.
That's what I was saying. I think I do think it's fun. I'm pretty sure they both play for Wolfsburg as well. Actually, funnily enough, I think they actually played together.
Having those two at centre back must be just pace. Pure pace.
Literally, I think. Right, so those three at centre back. Right wing back, I think you have to go.
Munoz.
I think you got to go Munoz. That's got to be done.
Oh.
Left wing back.
So you can go Jed Spence here, or we could go
Doggy,
Yeah, the doggy style
Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
or Mitchell. I don't know. I think Udoki's a good player, but I haven't seen him enough.
I feel like I could be wrong here, but I feel like he hasn't played loads this season. And I've frozen.
Does it say he's had 6 starts and 10 appearances this season?
Who?
So,
Udogie?
Udogie, yeah. He's played a bit, but not much. Bear in mind, we've played nearly half the season now.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I feel like Spencer's played quite a lot on that left-hand side. I could be wrong. I feel like he's played a lot there, and then Poro's played quite a lot on the right-hand side.
Yeah, let me check what Spence has done so far this year. Spence is.
To be honest, though, if we're doing a toss up of
Spencer's only 14 games. So he's only played 4 more games.
He's started most of the games though.
Yeah,
So
he started
like
13, not 6.
Yeah. To be honest though, if we're doing a toss up of Jed Spence or Tyron Mitchell, I'm going Tyron Mitchell. If I'm to be brutally honest.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Right,
midfielders. Wharton's going straight in.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
To be honest, because I'm looking at their lineups, like when they played Newcastle, for example. Like the midfielders they played were Sarr and Bentancur. And I got to be honest, I don't think I would necessarily choose them over Kamada per se.
I tell you what I would do though. I would put Lucas Bergvall in there.
I was saving him for attacking midfield.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But I think he could play on that left-sided one.
Well, remember we've got to try and shoehorn 3 of their players in there. And we've got.
I think. Yeah, true. Yeah, no. Chuck him in midfield then. Chuck him in midfield.
Or maybe
then.
Archie Gray. Archie Gray's a really good player. He can play central mid as
well. Bergvall's. Yeah, he can. Bergvall is sick though.
Or maybe that could be our 2. Maybe we have Gray in the middle and then Bergvall there, and then we can fill up the other 2. Make it easy for us.
Yeah, could be. Because to be honest, like even going forward, so I was thinking, what about like Xavi Simons? But then he hasn't. I don't think he's been that outstanding from when I've seen him. Yeah.
Bergvall in left 10. Who are we going with?
And then Sarr on there.
Sarr or Kudus.
Again, like Kudus, I don't think he's been that great this season. He's had a bit of a weird.
He started well.
I don't know, like
he has been.
He started well, but then
he has been hot and cold. But
so now it's just striker, isn't it?
Which is either Mateta, Richarlison, or Solanke,
or Colomwani.
Yeah.
I think there's only one winner there.
Eddie Nketiah, get him in the team.
Purely for the ish. Yeah. I hear it.
Purely for the Arsenal. Player.
Purely for the ish house.
Chris Anton.
Actually, that's not a bad shout.
Casey.
You know what? Uche isn't a bad shout, to be fair.
Yeah, you know what? Uche, there you go, my friend. Your first Premier League start is in our 11.
There we go.
Brilliant.
I tell you what, we're going to
'Cause,
need
yeah,
a
I
Spurs
mean-
fan because this is a atrocious 11.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. I
It's,
mean,
it's
I
not good.
think the only things that maybe you could argue maybe is like as in terms of swapping players. I think Van der Ven and Lacroix was quite close. I mean, could you say Porro's better than Munoz based on this season? I don't think so. Is Jed Spence better than Tyron Mitchell? I don't think so. Wharton definitely gets into this team. I would say Henderson is definitely better than Vicario. And Spurs up front have been terrible. So, to be honest with you, if we had a Spurs fan on here, I reckon they'd say don't put any of their players in.
Yeah, but Dan, we've heard that before, and we got slapped 4-0 by Tottenham. So
True.
they're
That is
like,
true.
no, just make it all Palace, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh, we might actually win, and then bang, 4-0. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, oh.
Sorry, I am here, but it got stuck for a second for some reason.
Oh, Nate, do you want to take us through some comments real quick?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Hang on. So, Durfes has said that, he said 43% wins, 29% draw, 28% lose per Google, 49. So these are the odds of us winning or draw. So I think they're making Spurs the slight favourites at 49% for a win, which, to be fair, you'd probably understand that. And then, hang on, sorry. Durfes is then saying start Essay over Nketiah. I mean, I don't see Glasner doing that, but big up to Nicky because he says, but then the rotation options on the Hodgson weren't as good as our options today, which is true, but I can't forget the time that he gave Brandon Pierrick charity minutes and half the fan base lost their mind away at Norwich, which was quite funny. Durfes saying, given Richards is injured, Lerma should start at centre-back. Nicky has said that Glasner won't talk about contracts until the new year. Durfes agrees with Nicky that we have materially improved our backup squad, even if we don't have our Eze Elise dream squad. Rich says that we actually need 3 to 4 players, be they loans or signings. Would we agree with that, gents, or do you think we need a bit more?
It depends who we get or the level of quality.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like, you get Keys Smith, I'd say that's probably good enough for midfield. But if you get someone else, you're probably going to need someone else and Hayden Hackney, or something like that.
And Middlesbrough know that he's in demand, so they'll do everything they can to make the prices as high as possible.
Yeah.
But that's understandable. I mean, we've got a good record of recruiting from the Championship. Rich has given his team, which is Hendo, Mark Gay, Lacroix, Van der Ven, Wharton, Pape Matasar, Ismail Assar, Mohamed Kudus, and Mateta. What do we think of that?
There's no fullbacks.
Which is interesting, yeah.
He's missing 2 players.
Yeah, no, he said that. Whoops, I forgot fullbacks, and then he says Munoz and Mitchell.
There you go. Okay.
So
I mean, Papsar is really good as well. I mean, to be fair, you could change Gray and Sar. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. But Kudus, I don't know. I think Kudus been really good at the start of the season, but he just tailed off.
Yeah.
Let me check his stats. I think I've got the thing. Oh, they've got Mateus Tell as well, but I don't think he's done too much, has he? Yeah, Kudus has got 16 starts and 2 goals.
For a forward, that's pretty poor.
What has Sar got?
Womp.
No wonder West Ham were happy to take the money and run. Can't blame them.
Okay, well,
Thing is, I think he is. I think he is a good player. I think he's just been unfortunate that the 2 teams he's played for are West Ham and Spurs.
Yeah. So
Bear
obviously,
in mind, Stars got 3 goals in the league, 2 goals in the conference, and 1 in the Carabao. So 6. I think it's pretty clear.
I think Sar's got 2 in the Carabao now because he scored a brace against Liverpool.
Yes, that's so 3 in the league, 1 assist. Why is this not working?
Unless he didn't score twice against Liverpool, but I'm sure he did.
Oh, I don't think it's counting the conference, the Charity Shield.
No, I'm on about the League Cup because I'm nearly sure he scored a brace against Liverpool. Granted, it was against the majority of their reserves, but
Okay, so this season he's got 8, including the Community Shield. He's got 8 goals, 2 assists. So he's got 10 GA so far in 20 games. So he's got a goal or an assist every other game,
yeah,
which is very good.
but he's been a brilliant signing that I don't think anybody can complain with, especially after what he did at Wembley in the semi-final against Villa, because they must absolutely hate him. But looking at this game, as I said at the top of the show, I don't think anyone's going to be shocked if all of a sudden Tottenham bounce back from a really run of poor form by getting a win over us, because we're used to that. We've seen us have real stinky performances after European games or cup games where you're like, yeah, this ain't going to be great. But I just hope the head loss on social media isn't going to be as bad as it has been lately, because some people really spiraled after the Arsenal defeat. I was like, we took them to penalties where they weren't great, and neither were we. What's the issue? Like, it was literally luck of the dice. Like, it's not that serious. But some people, you'd swear blind we were getting relegated tomorrow. I was like, do people not realize that this is not that serious? Oh, wow. So Durfez has said, to clarify, the odds are for a Palace win. So I think the bookies have Palace as favourites to win the game, which, that doesn't fill me with much confidence because, I don't know. But anything else really to discuss before?
Score predictions,
Predictions maybe, and then that's it really, yeah.
Okay, anybody want to go? Oh, hang on. Durfez is saying here, Lerma over Hughes in centre mid for long throws as Richards or Lerma to handle those throws.
Oh,
there we go.
go.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we all?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You all good?
Yeah, all good.
Thank you for having me. Sorry to keep you waiting. Tech issues, new tech for Christmas, and none of it would work, but we're all good.
All right.
Yeah, Rich is also saying, who would you start tomorrow? So, JC, if you could pick the team, who would you start tomorrow?
To be fair, I think our team pretty much picks itself. For the most part, I think Henderson in goal, Mitchell, Gay, Lacroix. Richards is injured still, so I would probably go JD Cambo at the back there, with probably Nathaniel Klein because Munoz is also injured there. I'd probably start Wharton and Lerma in the middle. I'd go Jeremy Pino on the left. I'd probably go. I personally, I'd go Enkechi on the right and Uche up top, personally, because I think that Uche's been on a much more hot run of form.
Yeah.
He won the penalty for our last game, and I feel like even though Mateta did play all right, I think that the 10 minutes that Uche was on the pitch, he did way more than Mateta did all game. Granted, obviously Mateta's playing against like fully fit players, and Uche's coming on against tired legs, but I think just Uche's just, for me, he's just done a little bit more to I think he deserves a start. Really good performance against Shelbourne, built on that performance in the league as well. I think he deserves a start for me.
Yeah, Dan, would you make any changes to the team JC picks, or are you fairly in agreement
No,
with him?
I think it's pretty fair, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nate?
Also, I'm near enough going to pick the same team as you, JC, but Durfez has said without a goalkeeper, interestingly, Klein, Lerma, Wharton, Canvo, Lacroix, Gay, Mitchell, S.A. Pino, and Uche. So players all over the place by the looks of Durfez's 11 with no goalkeeper. S.A. is an interesting pick because I'm assuming that's S.A. to play at right wing back, which fills me with all kinds of dread. Oh, I'm sorry, Nathaniel Klein's there. God, Nathaniel Klein in 2025. God, good God. So Harry, we'll bring it to you. So the Tottenham side of things, we were mentioning Tottenham are very up and down this season. We were saying we're not great after European games. We've just lost in the cup to Arsenal, albeit on penalties, but still we're out. Are you looking at this game and thinking this should be a game you could pick up points, or are you thinking just survive and get to January where you can maybe bring in a couple more players for Thomas Frank? What's the Spurs side of things? Because we just want to get some more players in because we're almost dying on our feet over here.
Firstly, I don't know why I'm so zoomed in, so sorry you have to all see that. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I think for Tottenham, it could be quite tough. I think it's a case of where it's changed in the last couple of years to where you go, look, you should be beating Crystal Palace to the point now where a point is seen as a good result. I still do view that tomorrow, but the league doesn't lie. Tottenham sitting 14th, and it needs to be wins. We're not winning games at the moment, and we're not playing well. That's the reality. I'm one of those fans that goes, look, Thomas Frank shouldn't be under increasing pressure. He should have the season. Unless something drastically goes wrong, I believe in giving the manager the time. I think chopping and changing managers is nothing but reactionary and it's nothing but entitlement within this fan base and that Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But this game could be really tough. It could be a banana skin. I think there's pros and cons for you guys. I think the pro will be that you play Tuesday rather than Thursday. The con will be that you played midweek altogether, whereas Tottenham, for example, haven't. Your opposition in this game. And also went to penalties as well. So it would have taken a lot out of you. It was a big performance. You come back and, good penalties as well. So, that really matters when you're coming up against a top six club, squad depth, things like that. So I'm looking forward to the game. It's very hard to call. Very, very hard to call. You don't know what Tottenham are going to turn up. And Crystal Palace as well. When you're at it, you look very good. I think you do miss players such as Sarr through AFCON and other players as well. You have that through Knox. But yeah, Nate, it's a good question. I am looking forward to the game. But as a Tottenham fan right now, I'm worried. My team are not playing well. They're not defending well. They're not creating chances. We're not scoring goals. And Crystal Palace, if they get it right because of Oliver Glasner, it can be really good.
Fair. So obviously, when we last played Tottenham, we played you at your place. I think it was Eze scored a brace, and obviously, I think that was the weekend before the FA Cup final. Which, that's still surreal that we actually did what we did in the FA Cup final, but that's neither here nor there. Since then, though, obviously, Ange Postecoglou is out. Thomas Frank is in. You've touched briefly on Thomas Frank and how he's doing at Tottenham, but were you happy with the Ange sacking after the Europa League final? Were you thinking Ange probably needed a bit more time, or was it just, look, too many losses, finishing 17th is in and of itself not good enough? You're also looking at it thinking it's all well and good that you won the Europa League, but you finished 17th in a season where, apart from the bottom three that went down, yourself and Manchester United were, with all due respect, stinking out the Premier League. It's like, it's one thing to finish in the bottom half, but to finish third from bottom, granted, other clubs look at 17th and say, give us that all the time, but clubs like yourselves and Man United, I never thought I'd see the day where you're that low in the table. It's like, bloody hell.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Look, obviously Ange is gone, Thomas Frank is in, but we saw Ange didn't last that long at Forest, which was quite funny for us because obviously we're not exactly the biggest fans of Nottingham Forest over here because of a certain Mr. Marinakis, but that's neither here nor there. But without going on a ramble here, what are your hopes for Thomas Frank going into the end of the season now? Because obviously after January, Tottenham still have, Champions League and everything else to play for.
You've asked a couple of questions there, and two really good ones as well. Firstly, on Ange, at the time, I think because of the emotion of it, seeing the first trophy of my lifetime, it just felt so surreal. A, but B, you wanted to keep hold of him because of that. And, all this talk about a third season that he started to talk about as well, it seemed really exciting. So at the time, it felt the wrong thing to do. Of course, in hindsight, maybe a little bit more light comes to your attention in terms of what is sustainable. We saw at Forest. Having said that, it was never going to work at Forest. If you look at that with a little bit of common sense and half a brain cell, you recognise that Ange's football needs a transfer window, needs players out the door and also in the door. It needs time. And for Forrest and Mariakas, it just sums up for me the lack of football knowledge, full stop. The fact that he thought such a drastic style change could be done, in about 2 or 3 days. It was less than that, wasn't it? It was less than, 48 hours. Just what was the thinking behind that? It's just never, ever going to work in football. It's just not possible. So to go from that drastic change of styles, which Spurs did do, bringing in Postecoglou after various different managers, caretaker managers, permanent managers, mainly the likes of Antonio Conte, it took, big transfer window. And when I say big, right, I think 19 Spurs players left in the window and 11 come in, to give people an idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about a big window. That's a lot of change for a football club. A, that takes time, but B, it has to be done. On Frank, I think I don't agree with the likes of Van der Ven, who go on the overlap when speaking to Gary Neville and going fourth is the aim. We're nowhere near that, right? We're 10 points at least off that, even more from the likes of Villa. It's just not achievable at all. It's nowhere near. We're not near anywhere like the likes of Chelsea United. If we're lucky, then we catch up to at the moment, saying something like this sounds crazy, but to catch up to like Sunderland is the first step, and that is, really saying something how far A, we've fallen, and how B, how well Sunderland are doing. Credit to them. But no, we're not doing very well at the moment. I think the aim's got to be, of course, Europe of some kind. I do not think that is Champions League. I believe in giving the manager time. I just don't think it Spurs this constant cycle of sacking, of appointing, of rehiring as well. It just doesn't work. It's not the right thing to do. I think we need to look upstairs and go, look, A, the investment's not enough compared to Arsenal, compared to Man City, compared to Chelsea, other top 4, top 6 clubs. But when it is there, it's not spent in the right way. So I could go all around the houses and I probably have touched and gone that way already. But the point is, for Thomas Frank, I think it's about time. But the fans' frustration lastly, Nate, is that they're not seeing the performances. They're not seeing something that goes, boom, we can get behind that, we can be patient. And that's, I get that frustration. I just don't think, a manager's future should be judged on 4 or 5 months. There has to be an expectation, but I think it is a little bit of entitlement because the fans have this expectation of playing a certain way. For me, it's not right. It's a little bit outdated. Football is based on results. Frank's job will be based off results, and he has got some results that are quite impressive in his Spurs career, and we've also had some disastrous ones. So we need to do more. We need to attack more. We need to look more likely, get fans off their seats. And lastly, I know I keep saying lastly, but it's just I think of it. Comments as well, like he said today, we finished 17th in the league last year. We're not a Champions League club. We didn't deserve it. Things like that annoy the fans a little bit. He's right in what he's saying, but he's not a clear communicator in my eyes. He's certainly not being at the moment. So that is the frustration. He needs to come across better. He is losing the fan base. Not losing me, but he's losing the fan base, and that is an issue.
Okay. So there is a question to put to you, and it comes from Rich, who says, what are your thoughts on missing out on Eze? Obviously, it looked for all the world that he was making the move from South to North London. Everybody assumed he was going to N17. He wasn't going to, the other lot in North London, but that obviously didn't materialise. So we all know, because look, we saw it firsthand at Wembley how good a player Eze is. But was Eze for you a player that would have maybe been a game-changing signing for Tottenham, or were you thinking, well, it was a shame, but he's gone to that lot now, so I hate the very bones of him? I mean, we can't hate him for what he did for us, so it's impossible for us to hate him. But naturally, it looked like for all the world he was going to Tottenham, and then obviously we all know what happened. So just your thoughts on that.
It hurts, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And some Spurs fans will try and choose the easy option. And the easy option is because he's now an Arsenal player, because we're basically snubbed in the end and had our pants pulled down in various different moments and positions, that it's easy to look at it and go, we've got Xavi Simons, he's better than Eze, or, things like that, or, he doesn't matter, or he's not going to work out, he hasn't been good. No, let's just say how it is. Look, Tottenham had, in my eyes, a disastrous window. Gibbs White saga, that was frustrating. How much on the club? I don't know. I think if you go bigger and bolder from the start, you get to the end goal quicker, and that is sign of the player. With Eze, pure frustration because it stalled for 2 weeks. And I do believe some of that was from you guys that knew that Arsenal in the end would pay more. I think some of it was from Eze knowing that Arsenal would give him more wage. All clever, no kind of complaints or any bad feeling from me, because I totally get that. Of course, any Arsenal player you dislike, and you look at Eze and go, of course they're not going to like you because you chose Arsenal over Tottenham. But also, I can recognise that Arsenal are 10 times ultimately the club and at 10 times in the position of where Tottenham are right now. And as Spurs fans, I think we have to stop the comparison to Arsenal. And it has nothing to do with the question, by the way. We have to, stop, because a lot of fans look at it and go, there's so much gap between Tottenham and Arsenal. Absolutely. That's for the owner's job. You look at that, don't get me wrong, and analyse it. But we should be trying to compete with Arsenal this season in terms of where we finish in the title, in the kind of league. We should be competing with them in game, of course. And we didn't put up a lack of fight at all against them. We just didn't fight at all. But the point is, Eze has chose an option that gives him more money. It's a quicker route to trophies. It's ultimately in a better position, the club right now. Unfortunately, you cannot blame him. It hurts. So Eze's a class player. He's make a big impact at Arsenal. Simmons hasn't hit the ground running, and he showed that lack of discipline in the last game. That's a player that cannot get into his new club, cannot get used to the Premier League. He's struggling for physicality, for pace, everything about it. See, it hurts, mate, if I'm totally honest with you, Nate. And he's, of course, should be viewed by you guys as a great, what he achieved with you. Ultimately, I think it was quite special. And I really do think that. I think he made a big difference at Selhurst Park, and he should be loved by the fans. And I think he ultimately was loyal in my eyes right till the very end. And we saw that him and Mark Gay, the keep quiet, keep playing till the end. I love that. Much better than a Johan Wisser or so many players like him that just throw the toys out the pram. And unfortunately, the players that keep quiet don't often get, in the case of Mark Gay, what they want. But very, very good question.
Yeah, but the irony of that is that you look at Liverpool and you're thinking he could be over there now with the dumpster fire that their season's been, whereas he's still starting near every game for us. He's playing in Europe with us. For the most part, we've had a fairly decent campaign in Europe, albeit a couple of banana skins with Larnaca and obviously that mess at Strasbourg. But without going into too big a diversion, give us a score prediction for the game then, Harry, just so that we can wrap this up a little bit.
No problem. It's difficult. If I'm being honest with you, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think you've got a really strong defence, of course, with Mark Gahey there. Let's forget about Leeds. Generally speaking, that is. And for Tottenham right now, we are leaking goals, but also we're not scoring a lot going forward. So I think it could be quite, a tight game. So I am looking forward to it. But no, I'd probably say 1-1. I think that'd be fair. And I look at it usually, Nate, and go, that's a good result. But like I said earlier, it has to be wins for Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of these fans that has to go, look, you have to be full for the time. I recognise that some things won't be pretty, but maybe they're prettier down the line. I'm all for patience. I don't expect Tottenham full teeth, but looked good. That's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the reality is, right now as fans, we're looking behind us instead of front, and that's, really represents how we're playing, the results we're getting. So Frank will know for his future it has to be wins, because make no mistake about it, we lose by 2 or 3 goals to you guys, then there is serious pressure on him. Pressure on every manager, but there will be conversations about his future. And when you lose the fan base, that's an issue. You cannot be losing the players too. You cannot be losing the hierarchy. So for Tottenham, it is a critical game. It's not a decider for Frank's future. You haven't got to that point like we did, believe it or not, just a few months ago, or even weeks ago under Amorim, and that's long gone. But the point was, it got to a point, didn't it? We knew that if they lose these 2 games, you're in trouble as a manager. Frank is approaching that point. He's probably okay. And if we lose narrowly by you guys and show fight, that's okay in my eyes, as much as I want the result. But at the moment, we're not. I don't say we're not showing fight, but we're really lacking quality. We're looking like a really poor mid-table side without an identity. I think that'd be absolutely fair to say. But 1-1 for me.
Okay, 1-1. I think we're all agreed that we don't know what to really call it, but thanks very much, folks. Be sure to check out Harry's preview that I'll be jumping on in a little bit, because obviously Rich has asked me to step in for him because Rich isn't well, so I'll be over on Harry's show as well myself. JC, I think that's everything really, because I know we've got a bit longer than necessary.
Dan, what is your score prediction?
Well, I did mine I'll go with mine that was in the Discord. I went 1-1 as well, to be honest. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a bad game.
I think I'm back to Palace winning predictions, but I can see it being an absolute stinkfest. So I'm not expecting a classic. I think it's going to be an absolute mouldy game of football. But I'll say narrow 2-1 Palace win purely for morale, because we need a win in the league to stop the rot.
I've gone the complete other way. I said 1-0 Spurs, because we have been so dead.
Oh, boo!
No. Hey, no. Look,
we have been awful at home, and I need points in the predictions league, because I've closed the gap between Rich. It's only 6 points now, and it was a lot more. So someone has to dethrone that guy, because he can't win 4 years in a row. He can't.
Yeah, it's crazy how he does it, but fair play to him.
Yeah, I can see why Nicky copied him the first year.
but Nicky self-snitched was the funny. Why he self-snitched? I mean, that's just infamous. But we won't go into that. I'm nearly sure that's it, isn't it? Really?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Harry, thank you very much for joining us. Sorry it took you so long to,
Thank you
to
very
jump
much.
in with
No,
us.
thank you for having me. Camera's driving me mad, but we'll get it sorted. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Acting like the old one now.
No,
Cool. Well,
Thank
guys,
you.
no
thank
worries.
you very much for watching. And as always, up the bloody palace.
Eagles.